Hello and welcome back together to my weekend update on the financial markets. My name is Jens and today, like every episode, we will cover S&P 500, US oil, gold and Bitcoin. We analyze price via price action on the weekly, daily and 4-hour time frame so that you know what to do in the markets the weeks ahead. Let's start directly with S&P 500 on the weekly time frame. Yeah, here we can see that we're making higher highs in this index, which is positive. The only concern I have at the moment is this MACD divergence to price that should react sooner or later, maybe in a correction. It hasn't to unfold the next weeks. It could take some weeks or even months before it happens. But here we have a similar situation where price making higher highs and higher lows and MACD is trending to the downside, and after that a larger correction followed. So keep that in mind if you take long trades on this index. So maybe adjust your risk you're taking with the trade a little bit because of that reason. Let's drop down to the daily time frame. Here we can see the daily white solid uptrend line is still intact. We're making higher highs and higher lows. So till that changes, we stay focused on long trades, not shorting the market. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see recent price action more in detail. Here we went down, retested this 4-hour support and resistance zone. Beautiful move from there to the upside, a little bit higher than I expected. My favorite scenario would be that we see an ABC correction. C has to be a little bit lower than A and retest this white uptrend line on the daily here. And from there on, then make the breakout to the upside. And that would be then a highly tradable event with a risk-reward ratio of 1.5 or 2 to 1. We will see what is then the best option for us. Could look like that. Entry above this retest and stop loss maybe below the price gap here. And from there on then 1 to 5 or 2 to 1 risk-reward ratio. That would be fine. Let's see if the market will give us that. Another option or possibility is that we will see directly the breakout. Maybe we'll get resistance here at the top. From there on get lower, make also a retest. And then if price gets again above this retest and the all-time high, that would be again a trading opportunity to take advantage of a rising market. Similar to the last case I showed you, entry above the retest and stop loss below this price gap. And let's take the risk of this weekly MACD divergence in mind so that you don't risk more than maybe 1.5 or 1% at the trade. At least that's what I'm taking. Make research and decisions by yourself. That was both cases on a bullish situation. What will happen if we break right through this daily uptrend line and make a retest and then fall all the way back down to this weekly solid orange uptrend line? That could well be the case if the weekly MACD divergence unfolds to the negative side. Then I would also like to trade maybe this event. We will see. Entry again below the retest, and here the stop loss would be slightly above probably this 4-hour support and resistance zone to protect our stop loss. At the moment, this wouldn't be a good risk-reward ratio. I at least want 1.5. So maybe the retest is not that high, and then we could move also our entry higher, and then it would be a tradable event for us, or at least for me. Yeah, that are the scenarios that could happen the week ahead or the next weeks ahead on the S&P 500 index. Take it on your watch list, and I will inform you what happened or what setups are relevant in my next weekend report. Let's drop down on the list to US oil. Yeah, oil starting at the weekly time frame. The red solid downtrend line on the monthly got broken to the upside. Since then, we are moving inside a weekly consolidation here. We got supported by the 200 moving average until it doesn't. Here it turned resistance because the moving average got above price and not below like it was in the past. So I was expecting a little bit of downward movement, and I also participated in some short trades on US oil. But until we don't see price below this weekly support and resistance zone, this weekly orange downtrend line is valid, drawn in, and we have seen already a breakout and now a large correction. So maybe it's time for a breakout to the upside again, because such a strong monthly breakout to the upside is normally long lasting. At the daily time frame, we can see that oil moved inside a daily triangle for a long period of time before it then broke out to the downside and went a good move lower, retesting this weekly support and resistance zone. And then we broke a daily downtrend line to the upside, and since then we are correcting to the downside again. We made here a double top, lower low, and since then we're moving again higher. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that I have also drawn in a 4-hour blue dotted downtrend line here. And you can see if I put the line here that we have this low here is a little bit lower than this one. So you could assume that this is an A, B, C pattern that now got broken to the upside. That's at least what I see in this price action. And now I want to wait for a retest. That also looks like an A, B, C pattern in the ideal case. And then I would like to trade the breakout to the upside. Here I have already drawn in a setup that could be possible if it develops like drawn in. The entry above this ABC pattern on the 4-hour time frame, and then the stop loss below this price structure, and from there on then higher prices. And I would expect a nice risk-reward ratio of 2-to-1 with maybe 1% at risk, because it's a little bit choppy at the moment. I don't want to risk too much on that. Yeah, because it's also possible, this is the bullish case, that we will see again that price will react to this 4-hour, or it's already maybe a daily support and resistance zone, and we will get rejected here again and then move all the way back down again to the downside, and then finally again retesting this massive weekly support and resistance zone. So yeah, stay focused on US oil, and because that could well happen the week ahead, and then you can be ready for trading opportunities. Don't trade to the long side if you don't see a nice retest and breakout, because then the chance is high that we see lower prices on here. Do I want personally to trade oil short if we see a price pushing again heavily back to the downside? At the moment, not. At the moment, it doesn't look like a good setup for me. So either I trade long or I don't trade US oil at all. That's it for oil. Let's switch to gold. Gold on the weekly time frame as well went right through this often tested resistance zone here, and since then we have seen an impulse, a correction, another impulse, and now another correction. MACD on the weekly was also crossing to the downside, so bearish sign. We have seen the sell-off, but no divergence. MACD is making higher highs and price is also making higher highs, so the uptrend on the weekly at least is intact. I was expecting, after I've seen price falling below this 10-day moving average, that we will see a little bit of a huge correction, so maybe in an ABC pattern style, until we see price reach the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level in combination with this weekly orange uptrend line, which would be a good spot to buy the dip in an uptrend in gold. On the daily time frame, we can see that the daily white uptrend line was broken to the downside, and then I was expecting a counter move, maybe not that far like this one moved, and then another leg, an ABC pattern, A, B, C to the downside until we reach the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level drawn here from this low to this high, and that would also align. You can see it on this white line here. That would be aligning with the weekly Fibonacci retracement. So a good point to buy in. You always like to stack signs of valid trade, so a trend line, a support resistance zone, a MACD divergence. If all these things align over the time frames, weekly, daily, and 4-hour, all showing the same direction, a trade gets more and more valid and likely. So that's the thing you want to see. At the moment, price is rising higher. So what do we do with that right now? If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that price looked like it will turn here at the 4-hour support and resistance zone in combination with a 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level drawn here from the high to the low. So the Fibonacci here is upside down in comparison to this one. So you can measure that also for where will price probably stop or turns again lower. Here it wasn't holding, and the 0.618 wasn't as well not holding. So the last hope for a turn in the gold price here to the downside again is this 4-hour support and resistance zone. It could happen that we will see a break of this 4-hour blue uptrend line, a retest, and then that we fall lower. But how far will we fall lower? I wouldn't like to take a short trade on this, because I don't know how far it will fall. Maybe it will fall till here and then turn again to the upside. In this case, we could think about a long setup. but it can also fall lower, and then my initial plan of an ABC pattern that moves all the way back down to this support and resistance zone here could evolving, and then we could think here about re-entering the market to the long side, but I don't want to short it if it looks like that. Maybe I will update you in my next video that it's a good opportunity to short, but at the moment I don't see something like that. Maybe this could be a scenario where we short gold to the downside, but we have to see how price develops here. At the moment, no trading opportunity in my view. Yeah, what could happen? Yeah, it could still happen that we move all the way back up, but price is pretty much overbought, I would say. So we have to see some form of correction. So if this uptrend stays intact and this was just a fake out, maybe we could see something like this, an ABC pattern. And if we then see a break of this ABC pattern to the upside, taking out this high here, this would be a good trading opportunity as well to the long side. I keep you updated. Put gold on your watch list. I gave you some scenarios, and then we have to wait what price gives us. That's it for gold. Let's switch to Bitcoin. Bitcoin also starting at weekly. We can see we finally made new all-time highs after a long consolidation zone here. We left that behind, and I think we will not see it again, or at least not soon, because that movement is significant and long-lasting in my opinion. Maybe we're also already a little bit overbought, so maybe a correction is coming, but let's see that in the next time frames. At the daily time frame, you can see this price channel I was drawing in, and I was trading this breakout to the upside, and that was a good idea in hindsight. I started with 3% of my account balance at risk here. I already sold 1/3 and then a second third of my position. So at the moment, only 1% left risking in this trade, and I moved my stop loss here below the low all the way up to my entry level. So this trade is absolutely risk-free right now, and still $3,500 in open profit. If you look at my paper trading account here, you can see that I was selling here. That was my first sell, 1.6% profit, and then my second sell around the $94,000 level, nearly 3% profit minus fees. And yeah, my next target will be above the magic 100K level, $1,400. There I would like to sell my last position, at least in this active trading. The long term positions stay untouched. Why do I think that? Because if we see the 100,000 level, so we got nearly there, but not exactly. $99,600 was the high so far, but I think if we see 100,000, that will be printed all around the media, and for that, new retailers coming in and pushing it again a little bit higher, and then the people that are longer in, like me and you, hopefully, are selling and taking some profits, and then we will see a huger correction. So I think this could be a good take profit, and if not, my stop loss is absolutely risk-free, and I don't think that we will get that low before we see higher numbers above the 100,000 level. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we got a MACD divergence. Here was a high of the MACD, also a high in Bitcoin. Here was a low in the MACD, or a lower high, and here was a higher high in Bitcoin. So a clear MACD divergence. Also was able to throw in a 4-hour uptrend line. And if that one got broken to the downside, there's the possibility that we will see a correction. Here we have seen also a correction, but no MACD divergence. So maybe this correction will look a little bit, fall out a little bit huger than the last one and shake out some weak hands. Yep, because of that, I was taking some profits before that. And the last one is for the case that we'll see huger prices above $100 because Bitcoin can be pretty volatile, also to the upside and surprising. So I want to have a foot in the door still, not getting completely out of it. But at the moment, I wouldn't open up new positions for going long. If you're a little bit more riskier than me and want to trade short term to the downside, I think a break and a retest of this for bullet uptrend line could be a trading opportunity if you put your stop loss above the last high. And then don't go too extreme, maybe here to this. Yeah, there we have it. Maybe maximum correction to the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level. There should be your take profit if you want to. But make research and decisions by yourself. I'm not your financial advisor, like you know. Just putting out there my own opinions. Yeah, that's it for Bitcoin. I'm pretty happy with the trade, and also the account is already safe, 17.5% in profit. At the moment, I have no stop loss in place that can get me into a losing position. And with the open profit of Bitcoin at the moment, over 20% in profit. That's nice. If the year goes so on, that would be crazy. I don't think so. Because such huge moves are rare. And yeah, but we use them, so everything's fine. You can see and hear me next weekend again. Bye bye, and happy trading the next week.